My name is Deepak Kumar. I am a playwright, composer, lyricist, and I'm here at the Eugene Theater Center with my play House of India for the National Playwrights Conference. The play is called House of India. It follows Ananya, who is this late 50s, early 60s South Asian American immigrant, and this store that she runs, this restaurant called House of India, in the Midwest, in basically sort of a dying town. I describe it as a restaurant in the middle of a strip mall that you know exists but you never go into, and it's her. The play is about her and her family deciding what to do about the life of the store since it's sort of dying in this sort of dying town. And in comes this young Thai-American entrepreneur who sort of is hell-bent on converting it into a sort of Chipotle-style Indo-fusion franchise, and that is the path for the future. So the play is about the family and Jacob sort of coming together and grappling with this choice about to what extent can I give up what I've built already to sort of make space for something new. I think I started this piece, really, everybody wants to write a story about their culture, but I started really writing and thinking about it when I was at home during the pandemic. I went home to Michigan, which is where I grew up, with my mom, and I think that was the first time that my mom taught me a bunch of sort of classic South Indian recipes that I had sort of grown up on, and I started talking to her a little bit, and it turns out that she's always really wanted to run a restaurant, but she feels like in today's day and age running a restaurant is really hard because you sort of need a gimmick, and she talked about all of these Indian restaurants in the area that we live that sort of live and die every 6 months. So a new one will show up and then it will die, and it's in part because it's, of course it was during the pandemic, so that's sort of different, but even before that in part because it's hard to get people to come into things, especially if it's not quote unquote relatable with food. And so I don't know, I was talking about that with her, and I think since then it all sort of coalesced, and I was like, this play's going to be about food, and it's going to be about family, and it's going to be about culture, and that's where it's coming from. So I think for me, I am most excited about hanging out with so many other theater people. I didn't go to school for theater, and so because of that I feel like I don't have some of those formative, everybody around me is doing theater stuff, and that to me is super exciting. And I've already, even in the couple of days that I've been here so far, have learned so much from everybody around me, and I'm probably going to learn a bajillion more things, especially as we get into the process of making the play and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just really stoked to be here.